First, thank you for joining me. If you're catching the replay, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Every bit of support means the world to me. Like you guys have just been, I don't know how to say it. I'm just so grateful for you guys. 5 years ago, I was in a really bad place mentally. And gosh, it's just weird to talk about. But I, you know, I know that starting to create art really saved me from myself. And if we rewind a little bit from there, um, I had just got well a couple years before that. A couple years before I started making art, I had just gotten out of the Navy. It was 2016, and we moved back to where we're from in New York. Um, Landed a six-figure job, uh, super coveted position at the company, and at first I was like really excited and I was chasing the money. I was like, oh, I just want to be able to make 100 grand at least so that I can survive on Long Island, stuff like that, because it's like crushingly expensive up there. But I got my wish. I got the high paying job, and it was just, it was rotating shift work, 12 hours a day. I'd switch between days and nights, so like 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And it was like 5 to 7 days a week. So there would be some weeks where I wouldn't even have a day off. And then when I finally did have off, it was just enough time to switch to nights or switch back to days. Um, so I really didn't see my family. Um, I was uh, just bringing up the chat. Sorry. Um, I was um, incredibly depressed. Just, um, you know, never getting to see my family, never getting to do anything I wanted to do. All my money was going straight into the mortgage and taxes and everything else. So, um, and that's how I got into that really, you know, uh, dark mental place. And I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw some people doing some woodworking projects, and I was like, oh man, I need to do something. My wife was asking for a shelf to be made, so I was like, oh, I could do that. No idea what I'm doing, but I figured it out. I made her a shelf, and then I started making art pieces, and I fell in love with it, and that dark place that I was in vanished. And I said to my wife, I was like, hey babe, I don't know how to make this work, but I know that this is what I need to be doing with my life. So we pinched pennies, we cut all of our subscriptions to everything, we cut cable, literally I have a sweet car that I hot rodded, and I sold that. And we saved every bit of money we could just so that we can make the jump. And we did. And that was 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago. I started doing this, um, and I love it. Getting to create things with my hands. I love working with my hands. I've always been creative, um, but there's nothing like this. Like when I was in the Navy, my wife and I used to go to um, anytime I had some time off, we would just jump in our car and drive 4 hours to the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. And there was this one place called Goshen Pass, which was kind of like a valley with or a gorge. I'm not sure what you would call it, but the Maury River runs right through it, and that was our happy place. We would go there. It was just so peaceful. The river rushing by with all the stones and everything, and that's where I derive a lot of my inspiration from was that place. And now we continue to go to rivers. Up by Chimney Rock, North Carolina. There's the French Broad River, which it's gorgeous. So we continue to go to those now, and that's I draw my inspiration from real rivers. And but um, if you've been following me for a little while, you know that about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now, I walked away from art completely. Um, So this year started out with just a flurry of orders. It was awesome, I thought, and they were all custom orders because I basically built this business around custom orders only. When I first started, I was just creating whatever I wanted, and then once I started actually making a business out of it, I just was chasing custom orders, and I never really left myself any time to create anymore. The things that I had in my head, including this design here, and um, again, I started getting into this like funk, and um, I took on all these orders. I had no time to like do the stuff that I wanted to do, and I just kind of burned myself out. And I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't right, and I completely walked away, and I was going to go in a different direction. And I took a few weeks off completely. Like I had moved on in my head that I was going to do something else, and I quickly began to realize like this isn't right. I need to be doing this. Art is where I'm meant to be, which is so weird to think about. If you would have told me 20 years ago that I'd be an artist, I would laugh in your face. But I knew I needed to do this. I knew I needed to keep doing this, but I couldn't do it based on custom orders alone. Look, I love custom orders. I have come up with some cool designs based off of other people's like ideas and visions. I love that. I will continue to do that. But I'm going to take them at one order at a time. I'm going to give myself lots of time to do the styles that are in my head, and it's not strictly going to be rivers. It's mostly because I love that. But I have ideas for mountain pieces and everything else. So those will come out as time goes on. Um, but the custom orders, I want to make sure that I'm serving you guys the right way, which means taking one at a time, um, putting my full self into your art piece while I'm making it. So this piece, um, what I'm dubbing the carbon collection, since it's literally like charred wood. I burned it black, um, and this piece is like the culmination of like everything I love. Um, Obviously, the rivers, but the way this piece feels to me, and I hope to you, is I had actually written the description of it based off of how it feels to me. Um, I'll go ahead and I'll read it to you here. Um, I wrote the carbon collection is the essence of a winter night after the campfire has dwindled away. Your nose flares as you breathe in the crisp night air. You know what I'm talking about. Like it's cold out, and you like feel it in the back of your throat, and it just like sends chills through you. Like the smell of burning hardwoods lingers as the coals smolder just a little longer. These pieces, when I burn them, it's just that like it's that awesome smell. And I do a lot of the burning at night. In the video I'm making, I recorded it during the day so we could actually see what's going on. But um, I love doing these at night because it's like that cool air. You got the smell of the wood burning. And we do fire pits in our front yard all the time because that's just something we love. You hear the river rushing despite the frigid temperatures. It maintains its speed to prevent freezing. With no leaves on the trees, you take in the clear night sky. The stars are innumerous. You're relaxed and ready to retire for the night. So after the fire has gone out, everybody's getting ready to go back into the cabin. Everybody's just taking in the last little bit of the night, you know, before they go in. You don't really want to go in just yet, but you just like literally that sentence, your nose flares as you breathe in the crisp night air. That is like literally the first thing I think of when I'm picturing being out camping at night. You just get that, and it just smells like the fire still in the air. The cold air just like hitting the back of your throat. I love that. So that is why I made this piece. When I think about a winter night camping, especially near a river, I think of this deep blue river rushing by because it's so dark. You don't see all the different colors in it, and um, the matte finish on the wood. This is it. It's super contrast with the ultra high gloss resin finish. I'll see if I can move this around in a minute so that you can see what I'm talking about. Um, but I chose maple. I had some maple wood with a really calm grain. It's not, I have the pristine collection, which is maple burl, and the the grain is wild. This is a nice calm grain. You could see the lines of the grain in here when you're close up to it. It just feels so smooth, like a very satin feel to it, velvety feel. Um, and after I burned it black, I used an oil finish to just kind of massage almost the ash into the grain of the wood to give it this jet black look. And then, of course, tied it all together with a walnut frame because I love walnut. It's like my favorite wood to work with. It's buttery smooth. It smells good. The grain is always wild. Um, and this stone, if you were on with me with the last live, this stone is like my favorite. I love this one. I'll give you guys a close up in a second. Uh, and then if you scroll down below, there's like a bunch of close up pictures that you can see. They were taken out in the sunlight, so you can get a real good feel for the detail in it. But if you wanted to take home a piece of the things that I love, like a piece that really represents who I am, this is the piece. This is the collection. Um, Being that you're watching this, unless you're just streaming it straight through YouTube, that means you're on the early bird page on my website. If you're streaming on YouTube, go to www.chrishaggertyart.com/drop. You just got to throw in your name and email, and you'll get access to the early bird list. So right now, I've got this early bird priced at a hair under 5,000, and because I messed up my email sequencing over the weekend, it was supposed to end at midnight last night. But since I messed it up, I didn't give anybody any reminders. I felt that it wasn't fair to just like put it out there once and then, you know, not give anybody the chance to get to the page. So uh, I've extended it through Friday at midnight. So Friday at midnight, this price expires for good. It's going to go up to its normal price of 7,000, and I'm going to release another piece, I believe, next, not this Friday, the Friday after. Um, if I'm not mistaken, that is the 21st. So my goal is to release another piece from the 21st. It's actually going to be a very small piece, a 12 by 16 of the Pristine collection. But this is, if you wanted to, like, it sounds weird, but if you wanted to take like a piece of like my life home, this would be the piece. You know, this is going to be like my favorite collection to make moving forward. Um, it's the whole process of it, from the burning of the wood and getting to smell that. And while it's the fall and the winter, I'm gonna be making them at night, because we're doing the burning at night at least, because it's gonna bring that like real feel to it. Um, but um, yeah, if you really want this piece, you can, if you click that, I think it just says, um, yeah, it just says buy now before early bird pricing expires. It's right below. It's a little gold button. If you click that, it'll scroll you all the way down to the order form. It's 2 steps. You just fill out your shipping information on the first page. Second page is credit card, and click purchase, and that'll be yours. Um, there's only one of these. I don't know when the next time I'm going to make one of these is, unless it comes in as a custom order, which I accept as well. But I wanted to give you guys the ability to get some of these pieces at a discounted price, just for being here with me while I go live, and for joining the early bird list. So again, this is, if you love camping, if you love rivers, you love camping, you love that, that smell of campfires on a winter night. That was always my favorite time to go camping, especially as a kid. Um, Getting to stay up late, cook s'mores, and basically be out with like my dad, and um, with our friends, until like the fire basically went out and we didn't want to put any more wood on it. Um, the Basically the fire going out and before you go in for the night, that's what this piece represents. That feeling, that take a few last deep breaths before going to bed for the night, whether it be in a cabin, or when we were camping, it was always in a tent. And gosh, this is the piece. If you want to bring home a piece that's special to me, I hope it's special to you, because it really represents all the things I love. So I'm not gonna gonna ramble on here. Um, we've been on here almost 20 minutes, and it's 9 o'clock. So this video will be live till I go live tomorrow night. I'm gonna go live nightly at 9 p.m. Feel free to join me every night. But like I said, if you want to get this piece, get it before Friday or get it before somebody else gets it, so you can get that early bird price for $49.97. And thanks for joining me. I appreciate you sticking with me through the video. And somebody is going to get a real beautiful piece to hang on the wall. Have a great one, guys.